Don't get blinded by the light from fame. We're all ordinary people at the end of the day. We make decisions, some good, some bad, but we all pushing for things we never had.
Ordinary people with extraordinary ways.
Yeah.
Everyday people trying to make a way.
It's just us.
Ordinary people with extraordinary ways.
Yeah.
Trying to make a difference step by step each day. It's just us.
Hi, I'm Charlene. Did you ever hear cover your mouth when you cough or turn your head away when you sneeze? Grab a tissue. Oh, wash your hands. I heard that as a child. I'm sure you did too, from my mother, at school, in the workplace. But you know, were they just being over precautious? Was that just excessive? Or was there something behind all of that? Well, you know, the CDC reports that each year, 5 to 20% of the population contracts the flu virus. So on today's show, we're going to learn more about the flu and flu prevention. And joining me today is actress mother Tia Mowry and Dr. Peter Leckman, who is the medical director for Northwestern Medicine's Lakeview region. It's just us. I'm Charlene Bowden. Thank you so much for tuning in. We'll be right back.
You're doing great. We're gonna try this again, okay?
Okay.
Wheels, pedals, handlebar, brakes. Sit up straight, keep your weight in the center, keep your eyes on the road, hands on the grips, butt in the seat. If we feel ourselves falling, what do?
Just keep
pedaling.
pedaling.
Good girl. Now remember, it's all about balance and steering. Steer with your hands, steer with your body. Steer into the corners and you stay out of trouble. And the bell's your buddy, so go ahead and ding that. All right, you ready? Here we go. Pedal, honey, pedal. There you go, you're a bike rider.
Most parenting is hard to do in just 2 minutes. But 2 minutes twice a day making sure they brush is easier, and it could help save them from a lifetime of tooth pain.
Oh, look, a redhead.
Staring contest.
You still got it. I know.
Come alive with the forest.
The dad was cute.
You were looking right at us.
Visit discovertheforest.org to find a forest near you.
And we're back. So glad you came back to join us. As I mentioned before, joining me today is Miss Tia Mowry. She's an actress, she's a mom, and she's very passionate about making sure she takes care of her family, especially during flu season. And joining us also is Dr. Peter Leckman. Thank you so much for joining us on today's show. I'm so glad you're with us, and I'm just going to dive right in. Tia, you have a career that has spanned over 20 years. You're actress, you're writer, you're a very active mom. How do you do it all, and what are your current projects?
Well, I am on a show called Instant Mom that's on TV Land, and I'm also on a show called Tia Mowry at Home that airs on the Cooking Channel. And I'm also really excited to launch the Mom Knows Best campaign to, just help encourage and educate moms and families about, making sure that they get vaccinated annually and flu prevention.
Wow, I watched you grow up on TV, and you are still really making some things happen. You're active in front of the camera and definitely behind the camera and taking care of your family. So why was it important to you, with such a hectic schedule, to take time to educate parents about flu prevention?
Well, like you said, I am a busy working mom, and I do have a hectic schedule, but what's a priority to me, and I guess that's on the top of my list, should I say, is making sure that my family stays healthy. And one way we and myself, one way that I make sure that my family stays healthy is making sure that we get vaccinated annually. So I'm really excited to have partnered up again with AstraZeneca and Flumis Quadrivalent, just to help educate moms and families out there to, make sure that we get our flu vaccines annually. I think a lot of people, they think that the flu is like a common cold, but it's not. The flu is a serious respiratory illness that could lead to complications and even, hospitalization. So I feel like it's my responsibility to make sure that I keep my family healthy and, by getting the flu vaccine annually, and also just educating other moms and families out there to do the same and encourage them to do the same as well.
I'm glad you mentioned that, Tia, because a lot of times we think it's just the cold, but it's something a lot more serious than that, and we need to know what we're dealing with. So let's bring Dr. Leckman in the conversation. And Dr. Leckman, I really like to define anything that we're dealing with so that we can know what it is in its entirety. So what is the flu, and what vaccinations, why is it important, rather, for us to get vaccinations?
Thanks for having me on. I think Tia said it really well, that influenza is a very specific illness, and it's a very, very serious illness. And every year, up to 20% of the U.S. population, so that's tens of 60 million people might get influenza. And 200,000 of those people might end up in the hospital. People get pneumonia. People get other complications from the flu. It's particularly hard on the young and on the elderly. So it's a serious illness. And there's lost days of work and so many other things that happen. And really, the best way to protect yourself from influenza is just to get the flu vaccine, to get vaccinated against the flu. And you really have to get vaccinated every year. People forget, well, I got the flu vaccine last year, maybe I don't need it this year. But the flu vaccine changes every year to follow the strains of the flu that are going to be prevalent in the community. So it's important to get vaccinated every year.
Yes, it absolutely is. And we always hear you should cover your mouth when you cough. You should, sneeze into your sleeve. Now, what are some other basic precautions that we should take to keep from spreading this virus?
Yeah, so basic precautions are ones we do remember. Wash our hands, use hand sanitizer, sneeze into a tissue and discard the tissue, sneeze into your sleeve, clean your phone once in a while with an alcohol swab, clean your keyboard at your workplace because you can spread germs that way. But again, most important, get the influenza vaccine.
I never think about cleaning my keyboard. I will clean my phone, but I think I'm the only one using my keyboard, so I don't clean my keyboard off very often. So what vaccinations are, you mentioned that the changes that happen every year. What options are available to us this year for this flu season?
Yeah, that's a great question. And many people may not realize there are actually two distinct types of influenza vaccines to get. So there's the flu shot, so to speak, the flu immunization that you get put into your arm that's been available for a long time. But for over the last decade, we've had available to us what's called an intranasal live influenza vaccine. And that's known as flu mist. So this is a great option. It's a very good vaccine. It's available for people between the ages of 2 and 49. Kids love it. Kids don't like shots. Tia doesn't like shots. I'm not a big fan of shots myself. So rather than get an injection, you actually get a tiny amount of liquid sprayed into each nostril. And because the way you catch the flu is through your nose, it actually gives you great protection because you're giving the vaccine the same way you would actually catch influenza.
Wow, okay, well, that's more appealing to me too, Tia. I do not like shots for any reason at any time, so I'm glad to hear about the nasal option. So Tia, as being part of this campaign, how has this affected you and how you take care of your family?
Well, one way that I do protect my family during flu season is making sure that we do get, vaccinated annually. Another thing that we do is, kind of like what Doctor was saying earlier, you just make sure that you wash your hands. I make sure that I wash countertops, faucets, doorknobs, because the flu virus, it can survive on surfaces up to 6 to 8 hours. Also, when my son comes home from school, I take his clothes off and I throw them in the washer because, the flu virus can survive even on his clothes. That's like crazy to believe, but it's true. Thank you.
Such good advice.
But also, what else? I make sure that we eat very healthy, so foods that are high in antioxidants like fruits, avocados, so just stuff like that.
Yeah. I love that you mentioned that you change your son's clothes when he comes home from school. It reminds me of my youngest daughter. She has become our antiviral person in the family. The more she learned about germs and how they spread and everything, she cleans down everything. She wipes us down. We can't touch anything. But I just want to thank you two so much for being on the show today. It's been a pleasure to get to know you and to get to know more about how we can protect ourselves this flu season. And where can we find more information?
Just go ahead and go to tiasflutips.com.
Oh, okay, great.
Awesome.
And I want to thank you all for tuning into It's Just Us. For more information, please visit our website at itsjustustalkshow.com. All of our links are there for social media. You can reach out to us. Please reach out to us. And thank you so much for tuning in again. I want to thank my guests, Tia Mowry and Dr. Peter Leckman.
Thank you for having us.
Until next time, I hope that you will continue to happen to life. Take good care.